and we just do it all again. And this is a beautiful P5 from him. He's moving, he's dancing, he's grooving. This is the double-edged sword playstyle of Shotzzy, is because it can work, right? It can work when you're getting lost on the map. It becomes a very selfish kind of playstyle because you're playing for your own kills. Cooks that nade, beautiful, because he recognizes that's where the break is coming from, and then Charles off the nade gets one, gets two, beautiful stuff. Gets the guy based on where he thinks people are going to be. He ain't YY 720 ladder stalling, weapon switching for kills just because you think he's Shotzzy. He's a movement king. He's a movement king for a goddamn reason. He's setting his fights up, and he's not getting caught sprinting with his gun up. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Play Like a Pro. This time we have a really special episode. We're going to be doing Shotzzy. We've not done him this year. I think it's about time that we do. This is straight after Shotzzy and OpTic Texas ended up taking down LAT and winning Major 4. Now, what we're going to do, as always, with every single Play Like a Pro, is we are going to focus on what we can steal from Shotzzy in ranked, some of the tendencies, macro, overall chessboard level, micro, how he's playing from an individual perspective, anything that from a tendencies or pattern recognition perspective we can apply to our own game. So, you know the drill. We're going to be watching, focused on Shotzzy as much as we can, both from the bottom left minimap and from any POV that we get. So this is winners round 1 of Major 4. This was a game where Shotzzy really took over, and it was the one that I chose because you get to see the balance in pacing between him taking selfless versus selfish plays, when he's taking more of the risky plays in order to set himself up, versus when he makes these more of a safety or conservative play in order to set up the rest of his teammates. We're going to learn together. There's going to be a lot of things that I don't know, but as we do this together, hopefully we can see what we can apply. Right, let's get into it. So Shotzzy is going to be number 2. This is going to be a standard break-off for OpTic Texas. They're going to be doubling the open side of P1. Kyler or Hugh is going to be playing closed, and Shotzzy is going to be late peeking bottom mid once he sees they're on the time. He gets the comm that there's 3 top left. This is just a standard break off. He sees one is in the hill, probably hears the comm, and once he hears the comm, he's just aping down, taking his timing in order to kill the guy on the hill. Now, I'm curious to kind of see how he does it. Now, when you guys understand... when you guys learn about Pro Call of Duty, for you guys who don't really know, is a lot of it is going to be down to pattern recognition. Meaning, if I see X, I'm going to do Y. And now that's going to be a recurring theme as we watch Shotzzy is, okay, where are some of the tendencies, and we call it intuition, that he shows while he's playing. And intuition is just basically a big book of, if this happens, I'm going to do this. Now, where I'm going with that is I want to see if... because he's played this break off on Hacienda P1 probably 1,000 times already, he has a good idea of, like, if you're going to be in a certain spot on the hill, what am I going to do in order for me to play off you? So, for example, if he knows that there's 3 people here and he sees that, okay, TJ has decided to play the left, is he instantly banging out? If he sees 3 people top left and TJ is playing the right, is he just going to play a bit passive? So I'm kind of really focused on some of the tendencies from that perspective. So right here, let's try and be Shotzzy if we can. Dashi sees 1, Dashi sees 2 and 3, so he's probably got the comm. He's challenging the top left off his teammate, so this is a break off where he's bouncing off his teammates. He's relying on his teammates to help take TJ out. Obviously, in this case, they challenge into the fights open, and now he's running it down, aping, using his movement as an SMG player, using his movement to then take fights on TJ. One thing, recurring theme that I want you to for you guys to understand moving forward is, as SMG players, we want to put ourselves in positions where we can increase our percentage of winning the fight, whether that's through first bullet advantage, whether that's through positioning by reducing distance. Some of the best SMG players in the game are really good at understanding, if you are here, how do I reduce the distance between myself and the opponent in order to take short-range gunfights? Because this NPC, for you guys who are struggling in ranked, really is a shotgun. So what you want to do is, if you can position yourself in shotgun positions and reduce the distance between yourself and the enemies, or you, without thinking about it, you increase the percentage of the fight you are taking. Especially if you notice you're playing against an M15 AR player, reduce the distance as much as you can, because even if an M15 gets the first bullet on you, because you have such an overpowered SMG, you will still kill him. So here we have it. Macro determines the micro. So right here, they get 2 down. He's playing his kills. We know there's 3 people top left. So based on that information, he's killed 1. He's probably going to activate. I'm curious to see what Shotzzy will do in this position. Beautiful stuff. Instantly gets off the hill. Understands there are 3 people towards the top left. COD is a game of numbers. So when you have a advantage in your numbers, what you want to do is make sure your team shooting or trading. Your trading is the floor. And what he's done is, as we're fighting from a kill feed perspective, we've gone 3 for 1. He is just helping to secure the final kill onto 7, and then based on that we can either play to commit to flip or keep them on one side. So number 2 ends up giving up the hill, runs out, plays to complete the wave, plays with Dashi, and to try and kill the last guy. Now, the problem for you guys is right here. Shotzzy could just stay on the hill and do absolutely nothing, but he's then relying on Dashi to win a 1 versus 1, which may not be favorable for him, especially if he has an AR in basically an SMG distance. Even though this is a long line of sight for Dashi, if a player gets to mid stairs, he can play to camera and start taking SMG percentage of favored fights. So right here, Shotzzy is using his teamwork, his team shooting, and his predictive trading, thinking where the trades and fights are going to happen in order to clean the wave. Once he's done that, I expect them to follow their game plan for step 2 based on where the enemies are spawning. And we'll talk about it as we do it. Chases him down, running him down, using Dashi as the bait. Dashi will now pick up P1 because you want your AR players in P1 as often as you can, because it's like balloon tower defense. That gives Shotzzy the ability to roam around based on wherever they think, based on where Hugh is going to spawn and based on where they think Boston is going to spawn. Shotzzy will put himself in the next best position to get the first kill of the next wave, or at least information of the next wave. So 44 seconds left, soaking time. Ends up killing him. Really, really good job. Now we know where number 3 is spawning. He's spawning on this side of the map, so we know the enemies are going to be on this side of the map. Where exactly they're going to be is going to be based on where their furthest pushed out guy is. They know they're spawning tin because Dashi and Shotzzy are both on the top left quadrant, if we had to draw a square. Both of them are on this side of the hill, so we know they're going to be spawning tin. And from that, you get into your game plans. Let the game plans do the thinking for you. All you need to do as an SMG player is think about how do you reduce the distance, and then get ready to be proactive of the information you are given. So let's see what Shotzzy does with 42 seconds left. Ends up playing top right. He decides not to push out. He's watching Rock. Now he's playing SMG positions to clear his timing. Your micro is determined by your macro. So how you decide to do your job is going to be determined by the weapon that you have. So right here, his job was to push out Rock, and the way that he's doing it is always putting his SMG in the position of power. He's trying to take short range fights. He's playing the next best position. One of the biggest things I need you guys watching on YouTube is understanding, based on my situation, what is the next best position in order for me to get a kill, and how does that relate to the overall job of the team, the overall game plan of the team, and the overall flow of the team. When you have the right weapon in the position of power, then you can do what's called wide swinging. Wide swinging is taking a wide swing, an open lane, an open fight when you have the right weapon. So right here, that is what he's doing. He's pre-aiming, so he has the pre-aim advantage, and he's in the next best position in order to give himself first bullet advantage. So really, really good job. I expect him to get 1 kill and potentially get traded here. Just stay with me for 60 seconds. I'm going to tell you something about your own aim that is going to change the way that you shoot forever. Your aim is bad. I'm not trying to insult you. It is the truth. It's not your settings. It's not your controllers. It's not your internet. It's not your dead zone. You've changed your sensitivity about 50 times in the past 5 years. It's never going to fix it, because the problem is not in your hands. It's in your eyes. When you say you need to train your aim, what are you actually training? Because most players, for you guys that are watching, you've never really thought about it. You load in, bot lobby, you just shoot. Aiming is not one skill. It is 4 completely different skills: flicking, tracking, micro correction, target switching. Each one uses a different part of your brain. Each one needs a specific drill. Each one needs to be trained properly. What you are doing is the equivalent of going to the gym and you're just lifting random things. My pro players, my CDL champions have trained the same way as athletes that train their sport. One skill, one drill, one sequence at a time. That's why their aim is consistent and yours isn't. They're not more talented than you. They're more structured than you. So I give you that structure. 4 skills in the right order, the right amount. This is the whole point of my aim and moving masterclass for you to download. Inside, you'll get an aiming and movement video, a neuroscience of aiming guide, 30-day training calendar, champions daily practice planner, optimal CDL settings cheat sheet, and a before and after self-assessment. You download it once, lifetime access. Do this 20 minutes a day for 30 days. I will guarantee your aim will improve. Not just your aim, but how you aim and how you look at aiming. Check out dreal.co.uk and click this big gold button right here to get yourself on the course page, or check out the link in the description if you want it. Right, back to the video. Pushes through, ends up dying. You could argue that maybe you should have stayed. Hugh is on the pinch now, 30 seconds left. Where he's spawning is telling you where Boston's furthest progression is going to be. Based on his spawn, his number in the flow, that will tell him what his job is. So let's see where he spawns up here. First piece of information every single time. Where my mouse is predicting where he's spawning, he's going to be calling out, right, there's going to be people around, look at where he spawned. There's going to be people either pinching P2 or in open. He's the second guy in flow, 27 seconds left. What he then needs to do is get into a position where he can help trade number 3 if needed. Probably clear his time in P2 because we don't know if someone's here. Based on his spawn, he's probably reading the Risen. He might throw a stun anyway and then play to help trade out Mercules and keep the game at least on this side. Play to stay alive, play to keep the side. Keep them off the hill because that's their win condition. Maybe the spawns in this situation may not necessarily be the most important thing. As long as they keep them off the time and they play to get kills and they hold in progression, staying alive in tradable positions, that's the most important thing. So let's see what he's doing here. Right now he's on his own. Macro determines the micro. 25 seconds left. They're certainly going to flip here, so he has to stay alive. If he stays alive and does nothing, then Boston have to look for him and they can set up a natural pinch. This is how you think one step ahead. So certainly on the flip. Now, this is your macro determines your micro. Your game state will determine how you do it. And this stems from predictive modeling. This stems from being proactive and thinking ahead. As I've just said, as I'm saying it in real time, he knows his teammates have died. So your trigger event is -3. Your trigger event are situations that you can look for certain information every single time. That's how you make the game easy for yourself. Now he recognizes -3. He has to stabilize, which means you've got to stay alive and do nothing. Play for scams. And he recognizes in this situation, because his teammates are dying, they're going to spawn out and Boston are going to push through. So Shotzzy's job right here with the weapon he has is just to pre-aim where the push is going to be coming from, try and play as many scam kills as he can, and buy as much time as he can. What I expect him to do here is if he plays for TJ, I don't think he'll go for the second kill if there is a second kill coming for him. I think he'll go for one and try and use his movement to be a very annoying trade and just buy as much time as he can. But right here, pre-aim advantage, first bullet advantage. You guys, one of my biggest problems with you guys in ranked is you use over movement. Sometimes just keep it simple. If you keep the game in front of you, if you know where people are coming from, use your pre-aim advantage, use your first bullet advantage, and make the game easy for you. He has the position, which means any fight he's taking is going to be favored for an SMG. He can play his one kill. They don't know where he is. They have a general idea they're looking for one, but he can use this in a position of strength. Get one, stay alive, bring his teammates into the play. So this is where I expect a talent like Shotzzy, his talent to be utilized in a very efficient way. So let's see what he does here. Gets one. Instantly did what I said. Is he played for that one kill, And instead of trying to play for 2 and get really, really greedy, he understands the win condition and the game state. He recognizes his teammates have spawned out, which creates a natural pinch. 20 seconds, stay alive, predicts the second guy to try and trade him. As long as he can buy as much time as he can and play for progression somewhere, we can then get them off time, keep the side, get them spawning out boat, and that way funnel them through front. Really, really good job from Shotzzy. 20 seconds left. Now his teammates have spawned on him. Now, because his teammates have spawned on him, he's the first guy in the flow, so he's trying to get as much space as he can while his teammates will then follow up to try and trade. It's 18 seconds, so you might see someone at least shift across to the front of P2. Shotzzy, he's going to try and play to kill Purge off time because he is the first guy in flow. Your flow is really important. This is this conveyor belt system. You're always in positions to trade and you're securing lanes relative to the hard point in the order in which you spawn or in the order in which you are in the chain. He's the first guy in flow, so his job is to try and get the first kill and get the furthest most lane if possible with 18 seconds left. I expect him to kill Purge but not play for it and then be very, very annoying. So let's see what Shotzzy does here. Ends up killing Purge. Doesn't play for the time. 16 seconds left. Realizes he's weak. I expect him to not fight here. I think he'll get one and run away, I hope. Unless he wants to commit to Afro. So he ran away initially and then committed to Afro. All good. Right, we're back in this now. Shotzzy 4 and 2. Every piece of information is what does your spawn say. Every time you spawn up, that's your trigger event. It should be the first piece of information. What does your spawn mean every single time? Then you know what the time is, where your teammates are, progression, kill feed, all that sort of stuff. They've just got 2 kills. They know Mercules has progression in P2, so they should run towards him in the flow. Your job, get towards a teammate. How you do your job is based on the weapon you have and the positions you can play. So right here, let's see what Shotzzy ends up doing. Number 2, banging out. So now we know TJ's on the right, so they need to ape him out immediately. He's probably got a comm. Mercules is probably saying he's stunned in the corner and he's weak stunned. And then they should just ape him out. As you can see, jumps across, get Pika's advantage to try and take the fight on Tej. Ends up dying to Tej. Really good plays by Tej. But gets traded instantly by Hugh. Now he's going to spawn up again. What does his spawn say? Number 3 is calling out their both sides, so 4 should turn around. And then number 2 is going to say where he spawns, which is going to tell you where number 5 is. Number 2 spawns on top of Shotzzy spawns on top of Mercules, but he's going to be calling out, yo, they're going to be both sides. In a situation like this, when you're OpTic, you have to commit to a side when you know they're going to be both sides. Usually, the side in which your teammates are spawning is going to be the side you should commit to because of the fact that with the way the spawn system works, there's going to be less opponents on that side of the map. The side of the map that you spawn on has less enemies pushed past the 50-yard line to a certain extent. There's few situations where it's not the case. So right here, number 1 could play for the guy front and then turn around. But maybe right here he's using the progression of Dashi to fight off him, so he might help and take the fight. But either or, you just want to play for a side, but that's like a general rule of thumb. So Dashi gets 1. Hugh ends up dying, so now we have to set up a break. 50 seconds left. Shotzzy still has an SMG. Now he recognizes we do have to break. Shotzzy is going to kill Spot for free here because of a scam kill. Now I'm curious to see what he's going to do after he gets that kill. This is where your game plans come into fruition. This is a linear situation. Is he going to wait for a teammate? Is he going to try and get some space? Are they going to try and pinch? Curious to see what they're going to do. Shotzzy gets a scam, gets that first kill, takes an SMG route, takes his little SMG route towards the side. Probably have the first guy here, second guy waiting and baiting. Maybe the fourth guy doing this and the third guy doing this. I'd be curious to see how OpTic play to break this P2. But Shotzzy right here taking an SMG route. He's playing for a scam kill front just in case he's clearing, and then they're going to set up a break. And they're going to activate at the same time. So let's see how they do it here. Gets the first guy here. Now, this is really important. Chat, when you guys are the first guy in flow, and you are the first guy on any break, 2 things are very, very important. It's very important as the first guy, the route that you take. And number 2, it's most importantly, I would argue even more important, is the timing of activation. So what this means is, the timing of activation means once you're ready for a play, when do you actually start taking fights? Now, if you're Shotzzy and number 3 and number 4 were here and you take a fight on your own, well, you've taken it too early. What this means is if you take it too early, your teammates are not in positions to trade out or, most importantly, team shoot. when you're the first guy in flow, flow will determine what your job is. Your job will then also be determined by the weapon that you have. Your micro is determined by your macro, meaning how you take a fight is determined by the job that you have. And if you're the first guy in flow, the route that you take is really, really important, because the first guy in flow can dictate the break of everybody else. If I'm the first guy, I can determine whether we stack something or take complementary routes. I basically dictate the break, right? And when you're the first guy in the flow, by taking the longest route in most cases, it allows the rest of your teammates to take the quickest routes. So from a timing perspective, it becomes a lot more efficient. You want your furthest pushed out guy taking the longest route. Why? Because he has the best time to do so. But that doesn't mean just because you're taking the furthest route that you have the ability to take as many fights as you want, because then people aren't taking complementary routes in order to trade you. So two things when you're breaking is the route in which you take and the timing in which you start taking fights. Now, there are cases where if you're Shotzzy and someone jumps out and scams, of course, you're going to have to play the kill. But in situations like this, when you're playing against disciplined opponents, he needs to wait for the rest of his teammates to get into positions so he can utilize their stuns and nades and start dragging people away. And because you take the longest route, it has to drag people away. Now, Boston are in an advantageous position. They're in an advantageous position because they have all the power positions, the irons, the first bullet advantages, the pre-aim advantages, the angles, all of these different things, the weapons in the right spots, and they can team shoot and keep the game in front of them. When you're OpTic and you're in a disadvantageous position, you need to make sure you're stretching the defense as much as you can so all the guns aren't shooting one way and they aren't able to take charge with each other. Even if it's one person away, it's a lot better than having three guns pointing in one way. Now, by him doing so is going to at least try and make the breaks slightly easier. You are breaking. It's not going to be super duper easy. It's still a disadvantageous position, but you're trying to make it as easy as you can. This is where your game plans come into fruition. If you know every single time where you're spawning, how to break something, you start setting these up without thinking. When you know where to go without thinking, then the timing of a push you can talk to, and that's where small talk comes into it. Right, so let's see what he actually does here. Waiting on the timing of the break. So he's just waiting. We're waiting for number 4. He's jumping, ends up dying. So that's the importance of the timing of the break versus versus the route of a break. As you saw there, the timings were off. They weren't able to do that. So now let's see what they're doing here. They're going to do the same thing. Now this is slightly different. Now because of the fact that they've all died, they're all clumped up together in order to activate at the same time. Mercules is trying to play for as many scam kills as he can, but he's not trying to force it. What I mean by that is he's not trying to slide inside. So he's waiting for his teammates to get up to him so they can team shoot, and then they can start taking complementary routes. Right, so that's when Shotzzy is able to take a water route with his SMG to fight. And now look at him, he's trying to get as many scam kills as he can. He's ripped 1, ripped 2, which is not a scam kill, he's forced it in that case. Now his teammates are with him, and now they can charge together off stuns, off nades, and take different angles here. And that's where Shotzzy is able to take an SMG route because his entire teammates are with him together. As SMGs, it's really important that the pacing of your break will make the game feel like it's not impossible. By having everyone together, you're using each other as bait and switching essentially. And that's how he ends up getting and that's how he can use his movement to open up timings for him. And that's how you open up timings in breaks. Ends up dying, but all good. 11 seconds left. We want to rotate. They're going to spawn at the back. And now we end up flipping. We just bump the guy out. Follow this conveyor belt system. So right here, number 2 is trying to get the trade on Afro. Will and should get him. Now Afro's played a really good position. Nice. Okay, he's going to spawn up. His spawn is going to say what to do. He's going to recognize the situation Boston are in, and they're going to play for game plans. In this case, when you're trying to break a hill, understand what your game plans are. When you are breaking a hill, and this is my advice for you guys in ranked, this is my advice for you guys in challenges, is understand where your progression spots are. Meaning, if you are the first guy in flow, right here, understand what areas of the map you want to control for the rest of your teammates without overcommitting. This is what we call progression spots. By having progression spots, going back to the activation time, you can wait to activate on a team push and allow your teammates to get to you to set up a push as fast as you can in order to utilize teamwork. If we don't hold progression spots and our teammates are not in positions to trade us or team shoot us, we're just going to waste breaks and the enemies are going to get as much time as they can. So when you're breaking, have progression spot on every single hill. Understand what your game plan is. Once you get your trigger event, once you get numbers, once you've got tradable positions, then you can fly, then you can ape. Right here, trigger event is office, trigger event. Progression spot is office. Once we hold office and our teammates are in positions to play, then if we have numbers, we ape out time. So now look at us all together because we have a progression spot and we're going to bang out. We get really unlucky timing with TJ, which is really, honestly, really good job from TJ. But you get the idea of how we can help each other on our breaks. In this case, it doesn't work, but the fact that they managed to get into office together to activate at the same time just came down to some dodgy timing. One shot and he should ape him, ends up getting team shot. Right here, 8 seconds left. This is where Shotzzy ends up kicking up. This is where he starts turning up. Last guy in flow. His job is to pick up the furthest lane or where the last guy is going to play. Look at him playing for his 1 kill right here. Ends up getting information that there are people in mid-cut. Activates off that information. And this is where Shotzzy gets dangerous. You give Shotzzy information, he is very, very proactive at getting his kill. So he's played for the pinch, recognizes nobody is pinching, gets information that there's 2 guys in mid-cut. We don't know where number 6 is, but now he's in a position where once he knows where everyone is, he is fantastic at utilizing his movement to get behind people and then start thinking ahead. So let's see how he starts to think ahead here. Ends up getting 1, kills that second guy. Gets the second. Right, our trigger event. Now we have a plus 3. Well, it was a full wave. It was a +4. But now we know Purge is spawning up first. And because we've got a clean wave, we know the order in which people are spawning. So Spart is second, Afro's third, TJ's fourth. In his head, he knows exactly where they're going to be spawning. When he knows exactly where they're going to be spawning, he knows the timings of certain routes. And now his job as an SMG player with movement is he has the ability to just go rogue. He has the ability to cut timings, shoot people in the back, get as many kills as he can while also reading the pressure. And so that's what we'll see with Shotzzy right here. 50 seconds left, throws that trophy, ends up bumping out mid, clears his timings, gets that first kill. So let's see how he does it here. So good, I mean, he's got a trophy, whatever. Clears his right, but he knows obviously from a timings perspective that nobody's probably going to be there. Doesn't hesitate. Gets bad timing on Purge, but ends up snapping onto him with his crosshair. Uses his ADSs, and then while he's trying to recenter on him, snap onto him, gets out of the ADS back into the crosshairs, then snaps onto him again. Gets the first kill of the next wave. Now in his head, he knows that they're going to be here. There's a potential that they could be top, potential they could do this. Now the timings are going to be a little bit more immediate, and he has an idea, and he knows that they are going to try and trade him. They are going to try and play for him because he's been called out by Purge. So right here, let's see how he's playing. Sees 1 goes top left, so he's been called out. So he knows he's been called out here. So he has to be careful in case someone's bottom or someone's coming through. Right, so he knows where 1 person is. We don't know where 2 people are, but now they know where he is. Doesn't run into here, just in case someone's going to be ironing him from either bottom or here, because he's just been called out, so Boston are going to be playing for it. Instead, goes towards the left, the least likely route that they're going to check based on the timings that they had before. This is all just intuition. This is all just feeling. Now, he knows 1 person's just shot him. Ends up killing Spark because Spark jumps over his head. This was honestly a really, really good play. Now they know exactly where he is, so he has to move so he doesn't get instantly traded. He knows 1 person's on the right. We don't know where the second guy is. Now he sees the second guy. And now we know the last guy, the third guy, and then the 4th guy of spawn are going to be on this side of the map. This was such a really, really good play. Now he's just going to do it all again. And this is, look at his centering every single time. He's predicting where people are going to be. But in his head, he already knows where one person is. Now he knows where they're spawning. And then he knows they're still looking for him. So he's still going to play his kills. Ends up slide cancelling round. Let me see that again. That was insane. Hold on. Another second here. Now, we know we're looking for one. We know TJ is on this side of the map. But he's probably getting a con from Dashi that someone's up top. Probably kills him. Ends up slide cancelling to clear this. Uses his movement. Stuns again just in case another person is there. Because things are mixy. Things are quick. He's probably not tracking names or anything like that. Now we know where they're spawning. 28 seconds. We're back to step 2. And we just do it all again. And this is a beautiful P5 from him. He's moving. He's dancing. He's grooving. This is where Shotzzy becomes... This is the double-edged sword playstyle of Shotzzy. Is because it can work, right? It can work when you're getting lost on the map. It becomes a very selfish kind of playstyle because you're playing for your own kills. You're focused on what's going on in the middle of your screen rather than bringing in the teammates in the rest of your play. This is where it can get a double-edged sword, is if they decided to leave him and not play to trade him, or let's say they started to stack aside and they were quick about stacking aside, then you have situations where you've seen with Shotzzy where he's completely out of the play. On a game like this, where it's kind of brain dead and everybody's aping, being out of the play can actually be kind of a very, well, it is a big hindrance when it comes to the overall sort of part of the game. But when the OpTic drums are going and the French fans are screaming, Boston are probably like, right, we got to kill him. Your first thought, my first thought would be, right, we got to kill this guy. And then that's how he isolates people. And he, like, when he's isolating you, it's one by one, one by one, one by one, one by one. So that's why this is a very double-edged sword sort of playstyle. Now, playing his life, he's away from the action. Now he's trying to get towards the fight. So, like, stuff like this can happen, right? It works in this case because they're not watching it. Oh, my God. Nice. But if they were quick enough or they had better teamwork, then Boston could have potentially isolated the guys on P5 and it could have been a different story. And he's still going 14 and 10. Honestly, very, very beautiful stuff, at least from kind of like that playstyle perspective. Right. And now he's trying to rotate with 16. We're trying to play for new. Huke is going to bump out. 2 is going to play time. 2 should bump out. 4 should get the hill. Now, they now know because Huke has just died, your micro is determined by your macro. Shotzzy and Mercules are going to take their time. They have to break the hill. We know 1 is going to be in new. We know multiple potentially could be in new because we're predicting it. We're anticipating it. So right here, they're going to play for scams. They're going to play for holding progression. They should play to hold progression. And then once they have numbers, they'll try and get kills together and use teamwork. So let's see how Shotzzy does it. Micro determined by your macro. This is going to be the first wave of P2. They might try and play for spawns here with number 3. So let's see what they end up doing. Number 3 going round. Number 2 holding progression. Waiting for number 4. So now once they've got teamwork, then number 2 is going to activate. He's going to try and play for information. Is he going to commit? That's my question. Yep, he's committing. Now he's just holding progression, staying alive. Nice. This was good. This was really good. Now this was good. I thought this was really good, right? And this is something that we did. I need you guys to really understand why this was good. And this is kind of high level that pro teams do that we used to do on NYSL. So right here. We know they're on new. We know 1 is on new, right? We know 1 is on new. We know where they were spawning. We know potentially the routes they're taking, whatever, right? So we know they're on new. We're predicting that there's going to be multiple on new. And this goes back to my earlier point is once you're predicting that they have new, we need to break. We're in a disadvantageous position. So what we need to do is play for info. Trust the flow, hold progression, and play for info. And if we play for info and we hold progression, that way we can set up a team push and a team break. This is why wave by wave is really important for you guys in ranks. Rather than just it all being a blur and you're just running it down every time, this is pacing. So right here, number 2 ends up waiting for his teammates to get progression, plays the side door while they hit the back. Why? This is their game plans. When you know what your game plans are, you can focus on what you need to do in front of your screen. When you are breaking, like I said earlier, you need to take complementary routes in order to spread the defense. When you spread the defense, you make it feel like you're everywhere on the map and you spread the focus and attention of where people are going to be. This was fantastic and I need pro teams to recognize and do more of this. So look what happens here. is he ends up holding progression, plays for the side in case someone scams, in case number 6 for whatever reason runs it down. You never know, right? Number 4 plays with number 3. They're holding progression in order to wait to activate on the break. Activate means fighting at the same time. So number 2, as he's clearing his timings, he's predicting where Tej could be. He doesn't know if he's predicting if Tej bangs down, he's ready for it. Sees that Tej hasn't banged down, so he's going to check obvious corners to use process of elimination of where people are going to be in the hill. This was fantastic. As soon as Tej gets info on Shotzzy, look what he ends up doing. Is he's ironing, first bullet advantage, using his some form of peekers to try and get Tej, gets TJ weak. When you know TJ is weak, he's going to most likely run away. He's not going to commit because he's trying to not to scam, right? And this is the genius of high-level hardpoint, which is really, really hard to do for most teams, is when you're in a situation like this, you recognize Tej is, and again, this is something you do outside of the game. In the moment, it's just like intuition. It's a split-second thought. But right here, TJ is weak. TJ is running away, so TJ is coming out. Yo, I'm getting pushed side door. What this means is then this guy is going to look here. Tej is going to look here. Your job is to make it feel like you are everywhere on the map as an SMG without dying on a break. So what he does is he drags the attention of 2 of these players and then instantly commits to team shoot the back. And this was fantastic. And look what happens here. He shoots, whatever, reloads, instantly goes. They get the 1 kill and he's instantly going. After Mercules gets that first scam kill, he doesn't commit to the side door to ape it out because he knows somebody's watching it. He apes out the side because they can't give up the side after dying first because they're in a 4v3. They have to watch it. They can't just give it up and scam. And so he's watching the entire time. Then he ends up watching it because he's like, yo, watch the side. And then it allows Shotzzy to get a timing to get into the hill. This was good. This is a pro level thing that the good teams on Hardpoint work on. Is on a break, as long as we're waiting together and we're activating together, how do we make it feel like we're everywhere on the map? That's why Paco was so good on a break, so good on Hardpoint, is we would have strats on Hotel when we were breaking a hill, where he's like, yo, I'm going to go here, I'm going to throw a stun, I'm going to throw a nade, I'm going to throw a shoulder, I'm going to get 1 or 2 bullets onto someone, pre-fire, I'm going to pre-fire. Then he would instantly shift around, and we would hit like a 3-man push, one side. Because we knew in that 1 second that we gave them info, part of our game plans, part of our systems, that we gave them info, they're going to be watching it. We're going to ape out on the other side and we're going to break a hill because that split second where he's watching one lane, he's not going to snap onto someone else. It is the amount of breaks you could do where if you recognize what you want to do is when you're breaking a hill, think of the worst funnel that you could possibly take and bait that. Bait that worst funnel you could take, the lowest percentage you could take, and then start stacking the other sides as fast as you can if you got info, if you got kills, whatever, and that's how you break hill. That was fantastic. Genuinely, this was fantastic. This is their game plan, I imagine, or I don't know if it's their game plan or like a split-second decision, but from Shotzzy, it was fantastic. You're watching the pros lift all the trophies. You dream about seeing your name in the lights. You wish you could be good enough to make content. You wish you could be good enough to play like the players you are watching in this video. But nothing's changing. Again, you're stuck. You're making the same mistakes, the same frustrations, the same gunfights you feel like you should be winning, the same ceiling. You look around and the players who just look like they come out of nowhere, players who used to be below you, players that are younger than you, getting better than you, climbing past you. They're the ones who get the opportunities. And you're sat there and you don't know why. My name is D-Real. I am the 2023 Call of Duty World Champion. I have spent over 10 years at the highest level of Call of Duty. I've coached players like HyDra, Crimsix, Sib, Clayster, Neptune, Skies. I've even coached Myth. He has 11 million followers. I'm a CDL World Champion. I've won 15 titles and challenges. And I've also competed at the highest level myself. I've played at the Advanced Warfare Pro League, Infinite Warfare Champs, and World War II Champs with the top 5 KD and Slayer rating for that event. I know exactly what separates you from them. Here's what most of you guys don't realize. You're not stuck because you don't grind enough. A lot of you guys put enough hours in. But guess what? You are stuck because you don't know what you don't know. You're grinding without a system. Pro players, they can shoot, they can move. But guess what they have? They have better systems than you. How they think, how they decide, how they read the game, how they recover. That's the gap. And that's exactly what I rebuild in 8 hours with you. Now, you stop being a player that people don't want to team with. That player that people want to team with. The player that casters mention.
I have 1 slot left for July, 1 slot left for August. I will not be doing this in September. Once it's gone, it's gone. You have missed the opportunity to learn from the best in the world, how the best do it. This is a system that has been built with the pro players that you watch. This is the only chance you will ever get to learn how your favorite players do it and think. The wall of wins speaks for itself. September, there's a good chance I will not be doing this. October, I will consider opening up 6 slots. So if you are interested, make sure you get on the website and buy, or message me on Discord and we can arrange a time slot.
Duos, trios, full squads, 8 hours of full coaching, the same system that I built CDL Champions on. You name it, how you look at the game, what you think about the game, decision making, breakdowns, mechanics, everything rebuilt from the ground up for your actual team. You do not have to figure any of this out yourself. I will do the analysis. I build you up. I do all the work. You show up, apply the system, and watch you and your teammates transform. Here's my guarantee. You do the 8 hours, you apply it for 30 days, and you will, and I guarantee it, every single person has, you will rank up, and I will keep coaching you for free if you don't. Players who have done my coaching, they have gone on to play for top challenger teams. Some of them are in the pro league. One player went from platinum to top 250 in 16 hours. That is not a coincidence. That is a system with deliberate, purposeful practice. You and your teammates get the same system. Duos, trios, quads, get that discount. Limited because I put time into you. Alright, last guy spawning up. He's going to be the last guy watching pinch. His spawn is going to say something. He's going to play towards time. We know where the last 2 people are, so they're just going to trade out. Uses his slide cancel to get into the fight. He's bumping out again. This is the same bump that he did literally the life before. What's your step 1? What's your step 2? You guys who struggle in ranked, you guys just play mindlessly. Mindlessly. And I get it. I understand. You guys are solo queuing, whatever. But I need you guys to have some sort of a game plan, some sort of a pattern recognition when you get into linear situations. If you've done the step 1 and you've broken a hill and you can bump out, I want to know what the best way for you with the weapon you have to bump out. Shotzzy has done this 3 times now, where he goes outside water instantly. Don't think about it. Come up with a game plan. Don't think about it. Then just do it. The more you end up doing it as part of your game plans, the better your timings get. The more you get into these situations, the more comfortable it becomes. The more you have game plans, the more you have systems. Anytime you are under pressure, you just follow it and you perform under pressure, right? Without going into so much into detail. He's done the same thing again, is he understands how he wants to bump out. Yeah, you could bump out here. Yeah, you could just run it down. Yeah, you could do this, right? Pick, I don't care what it is. Pick what you think is the best for you. Commit to it, so next time you get your trigger event and you're reading the situation, you are able to do it confidently and quickly. The key to pro COD is speed. It's muscle memory, automaticity, and speed. The more you develop muscle memory, the more everything is automatic, the quicker you can play, the more you can open your brain up to things that really matter in the moment. Very, very good job from him here. And that's their game plan. He's going to do it again. And this time, is it going to work? It's gonna bloody work. Look at that. Surprise, some fries, Mo. Right? And that's beautiful. Now he's using his movement, clear his timings, where he thinks people are going to be. Oh, I know he has that setting where it bumps you sideways. So annoying. So annoying. Anyway. Good try. Right. Based on that, they've got no progression. Now he's going to just try and get to new. First guy in flow, taking that pinch. Your spawn can tell you what you want to do. Ends up getting 1, ends up getting 2. Nearly kills the 3rd. Hold on. Let me see how he does that. Gets 1, gets 2, gets shot by the 3rd. This is just instinct right here. If he killed that 3rd guy, I would have honestly just quit the VOD. Alright, last guy in flow. His spawn is going to tell you where they're going to be. Spawn's on top of a teammate, so they have no map progression. Last guy in the flow, supporting nades, stuns. Keep the game controlled, keep the game blocked. Guys, I'm going to go on a bit of a rant. Oh my god, you ranked players and you challengers, top 64, top 32, top 16. Stop playing spawn point. I'm going to lose my head. If you have the power positions, You have all the high percentage gunfights. You've got the pre-aim advantage. You've got the stun advantage, the nade advantage. You've got the trophies. Brother, just keep them on a side. That's why you guys are ass. That's why you ain't going to win. Make the game easy for yourself. Keep them on the side. Keep them in front of you. And that's it. That's it. If you have all the power positions, except for obviously certain money hills, you want a certain side. Don't get me wrong. But for most hills on this game, you can hold it from either side. Just hold the power positions, big dogs. Just keep the game controlled, and then you can trade out like this. You ends up getting naded. Let the game come to you, bro. You're screaming dead. Like I'm screaming dead too. All right, now we know where they're spawning. Mason's decided to bump out. He's taking timings. Nearly gunned that guy. Does he bleed? Yes, he does. Now, Shotzzy, good nade. Ends up getting 1, ends up getting 2. Is there anything we can steal in this situation? Third guy in flow. Your job in flow is to pick up lanes your teammates don't have in order to get information. When you're watching a lane, pick the next best position to watch it with the weapon that you have. Ends up pre-aiming it. Gets shot by mid-cut. Cooks that nade. Beautiful, because he recognizes that's where the break is coming from. And then Charles off the nade. Gets 1. Gets 2. Beautiful stuff. Gets the guy weak. So this is first bullet advantage. This is health management right here. Right? Gets first bullet advantage of this guy because aggressive playstyles work in Call of Duty. Gets the guy with a nade. Uses his first bullet advantage. He has higher health than his opponents. So he's willing to invest his health to snap onto his opponents. Use speed to finish the kill. They're your trigger events. The more that you play Call of Duty, the more you get into these situations where you understand what your health can do for you.
Yeah, up 80, Shotzzy with another double. Dash, he's going to put a third one in there. Well, when they are controlling the chaos,
right, he's bumped out. Now this is where Shotzzy can become an absolute demon, getting lost on the map. First guy in flow. Ends up dying, but OpTic are in a really, really, really good place. He ends up spawning P2. Now he's the last guy in flow, so he's going to keep the game controlled. He's going to say, yo, I will pick up whatever's needed. Picking up the pinch because he got the P2 spawn, so he's probably thinking maybe someone pinched fences. We don't know. As his teammate dies, refilling where the pressure is in order to play trades. He has an SMG, so he's trying to take as many SMG fights as he can. Mercules gets off the time, recognizes his teammates don't have open or close control, so we're going to get off the time, play to trade. We spawn out. All we got to do is play for kills again. Just set up a team break. Remember, hold progression spots until we can set up a team break. Number 4 is holding a progression spot, trying to stay alive. Number 2 takes a route mid-cut. I like that from Shotzzy. Takes the route, doesn't commit. Full pinches that. Oh, that's cheeky, that is. Number 6 knows he's going to be fences, but he's beating the timing. Ends up killing TJ. TJ's definitely lost full. He's going to play for the flip. He's doing nothing, staying alive, blocking the game. He's got 20 seconds left. That's the last guy. It's a huge one-on-one. Where is he going to be? Process of elimination. Sees him. He's in the hill. Ends up dying. Respawns P2, so we know they're going to be on the left side of the map. 13 seconds left. We get this P2 roll. We end up winning. Now he's playing a good position based on your game plan. This is beautiful. This is good stuff, man. Nice, man. Good shit, man. Don't know if I liked him going into the side. I think he should have played a bit more aggressive, but all good, bro. Who am I to judge? Now he's doing his thing, gets 1. Look at the way he's slide cancelling. Again, this is the big thing with you guys, is look at him. He's not playing this mechanically fluid, this overly mechanical type of way that you guys on ranked play, that you TikTok stars play. He's very disciplined and controlled in his movement. First bullet advantage. When you guys are playing, and this is the biggest thing I want you to take away from this video, is your first bullet advantage as an SMG is key. He's look at him ready with his gun up based on where he thinks people are going to be. He ain't YY 720 ladder stalling, weapon switching for kills just because you think he's Shotzzy. He's a movement king. He's a movement king for a goddamn reason. He's setting his fights up and he's not getting caught sprinting with his gun up. He's trying to be ready for where the fights are. Look at him ironing, ready for the fights. Have that in mind, is how do I get my first bullet into an opponent? Look at him, letting the game come to him. Big thing with you guys, you think he's Shotzzy? I'm going to play like Shotzzy, so I'm going to, run around? No, that's why you guys are terrible. I said it. You guys are shit. Alright, anyway, we know the last guy's on time, so we've got to ape out. Number 2 spawns bottom left. He's going to be aping towards the time, and GG's. He's going to pick up the side. He should turn around, yeah? Yep, he does. Beautiful stuff. Good awareness. We kill him. We kill the guy pinching. We know the last 2 are front. GG's, OpTic Gaming are your Major 4 champions. If there's anything I want you guys to take away, please, I'm begging you to stop the TikTok dancing, stop the flossing, stop the wall jumping. First bullet advantage. You guys are not there yet.